What is up to everybody out there in the archive universe? This is episode 1, and today's guest, believe it or not, we have a legend in the building. His name is Nate Robinson, and he's one of the most electrifying, fearless athletes the game has ever seen. Pac-12 Hall of Famer, for those of you that don't know, 21st overall pick in the 2005 NBA draft, three-time slam dunk champion. You know that already. Only player in history to do it three times. Stood just 5'7" and a league of giants. He made his presence felt every single night over his 11-year NBA career. He faced some of the most iconic franchises, including the Knicks, but also played with them. Knicks, Bulls, Celtics, the list goes on. And if you know this guy, you know you became a fan of his from a very long time ago. He is one of the most fan favorite players in the NBA. But before the league, he was actually a standout at Washington University. We'll get into that a little bit later. And Pac-10 All-Freshman. But Nate, how's it going, man? How's your summer been so far? I know
Man,
people
great.
want to hear from
Summer's
you,
been
but how
awesome.
you been?
Chilling with the kids. My daughter, I got two boys out the nest, so no more AAU for them. They're in college now. My daughter's in AAU and was traveling with her the last couple for probably like the month of July, the last 3 weeks of July. We're just, Portland, Vegas, Chicago. So she's been traveling around a while and getting her AAU on. So things are great.
Okay, and what grade is she in?
She's a freshman. She'll be a sophomore next year.
Freshman. She's a sophomore, and I know you have a large family. How are the Robinsons doing this summer? I know you guys are busy moving around. How are the
Yeah,
sons?
they're good. They're just getting ready for the school year coming up. I got a younger son that's going to the fourth grade. Then I got my daughter, she'll be a sophomore. My son Niall just graduated this year. He'll be a freshman next year at North Idaho, JUCO. And then my son Namir will be a redshirt sophomore at the University of Memphis playing football. So busy,
Wow.
busy kids, busy life, and just losing myself within my kids. Just being a great dad, just or trying to be.
Okay, and before we get into all the nitty-gritty, obviously people want an update on you personally. You know, somebody who went through a lot the last few years.
Yeah.
You've talked about it a lot, but people still want to know, is it when you're dealing with something such as dialysis, and I know you had a kidney thing, right? It was
Yeah.
called kidney failure.
Yeah, kidney failure.
So how are you doing now? Is this still something you have to deal with? I see you drinking
I mean,
some.
you got to deal with it because every day is going to be a struggle, but at the same time, you just got to count your blessings, man. I'm just happy to be able to have a kidney that that's functioning and working. Shout out to Shane Cleveland, who's my donor, who's now a brother of mine now. We text all the time and communicate. I spent the Fourth of July with his family. My
Mhm.
family went down and had Fourth of July with his family, so it's been great. Just maintaining, staying hydrated, eating right, trying to keep my kidney healthy enough to last me hopefully 20 years. That's the plan.
Well, that's really good news. And, I've heard a lot of your different podcasts about the fact that while you were in it, it was one of the hardest challenges you've ever had.
Yeah,
Looking to the right of your bed, you see somebody, and the next day they're not there anymore. And it's just, you think that you
that
might be
gets
next.
scary.
But
That
I'm
gets
glad you're doing okay.
Yeah, I am, man. Thank God I don't have to go to dialysis no more because that was a struggle, as you just said. Um, I believe when you're going through the things that you're going through, like for me, for instance, it was difficult to go through it, but at the same time, it rounded me and it grounded me to understand that uh, you know, some people would die to be in my shoes, to have my problems, to have my struggles. So I had to take that uh, and understand it, to where I was at because I couldn't complain about what I was going through because somebody could be going through something worse.
Right.
Because being on dialysis, you get to bond with the people that are there with you.
Mhm.
There was a blind lady that was there. There was somebody on
Wow.
uh, diabetes, that had liver, failure and all these different things on top of having kidney failure as well. So, I was the most healthiest person in the building. All I had was, kidney failure. So I was just, at that point, just thanking God I was alive and still breathing, even with what I was going through. So, you got to take the good with the bad. It's yin and yang, just like everything else. What goes up comes down. You turn left, you left is right, So uh, you just find a way to, to cope and deal with it. And for me, I never been a quitter, so that was something else I just didn't know how to do is quit. So I had to just keep going. That's all I know how to do is try to move forward,
Right.
and try to just, keep going up the mountain, no matter how tall the mountain is.
I love that. And, the one thing I've learned most about from your podcast is the fact that you are not a quitter, actually. Yeah. And that was probably the hardest thing for you is to know that for, I can't quit here because if I quit, then it's over. So,
Yeah, and then you want to lead by
right.
example. You want to give the kids that's growing up that wants to be like you or better than you, and you want to give them hope, and you want to give them a sense of urgency that if you do fight for something that you really want, you can go get it. And what I really wanted was life because I wanted to be able to be here
Right.
and be a grandfather one day for my children to
That's
have,
beautiful.
for my uh, you know grandchildren to have a grandpa. I never had a grandpa before. All my grandfathers died before I got to really know him like that. So
Wow.
something that I always wanted, it was kind of like, listening to, some of my friends who had their grandmothers and grandfathers. Like I had two grandmothers growing up, but there was no male older figure that I had to, look up to besides my father and probably my uncle.
Right.
That was it. And then, people we see on TV, the Michael Jordans, the Deion Sanders, the people that we like, watching growing up. So you just try to, shape yourself and shape your beliefs and shape them the right way and try to live the right way, man. But
Right.
I want to be a kind of a leader, for my children's children as well, not just them.
Okay. Yeah, and it's pretty crazy. It's not, I was gonna say crazy, but it's pretty awesome how you have your pops, and learned a little bit more about your pops too, going through your history. And your pops is actually a Hall of Famer himself, which a lot of people
Yeah.
don't know. Which
Hall
will,
of Famer, UW, Hall of Famer, Pac-10, and on top of that, he had kidney failure too, so he went through it before I did.
oh wow, okay, that I did
So
not.
yeah, so it's pretty cool that my dad each step of the way of going through life like how he did and learned going to college, being a great athlete, and so I got to watch and be a shadow to
Right,
my father. Going through everything I went through, he went through it before I did. So he coached me through it. So it was pretty cool to have somebody like somebody you love and somebody you look up to that was a hero to you go through the same things, as you. And it just let me know that, as much as I looked at my dad as Superman and somebody that I loved and, wanted to be like, as I'm going through everything he's going through.
yeah.
So we shared that testimony together. And I think it was a beautiful thing.
Wow, that's beautiful to hear. Okay, so moving on. First of all, we're glad you're doing okay. Glad the Robinson household itself is doing
Yeah.
okay, and the kids are on the ball as well. All thanks to you and then the family as well. But so moving on here, Knuckleheads has their own little first starting out question. All these other podcasts have their first, like, who was the first person that gave you trouble, or in their case,
Busted your ass.
us.
Yeah.
I don't want to I want to keep this PG, but.
No, it's cool.
But so my question for you is, and it's kind of a question I want to learn more about, is what was your first pair of shoe that you got, your first pair of basketball shoes that you remember walking around with and saying, okay, these are getting me some looks. For me, it was the D Wade's 2.0s in 2006. I'm sure you remember when he won the championship.
Yeah.
The shoes were pretty hot. What was your first shoe that you remember wearing and being prideful of?
Two pair. First one was the Jordan Sevens, the Raptors. Uh, when those came out, my dad, I was really young, and my dad, I wanted those, from the mall, and my dad we didn't have enough money to get them.
Hmm.
I cried leaving the mall, but he ended up figuring out a way to get them for me for Christmas. So
Wow.
it was pretty cool, and I wore those down to the to the soles of them, but. Those are my first like real pair of kicks that I always wanted with the Jordan Sevens. I had those,
Hmm.
and then Deion Sanders. Uh, what are they called? The turf. What's the names? I forget what they're called, but I think LeBron just made him collab with him and made him his own shoe. But I
Hmm.
had those when I was like fifth grade, fourth, fifth grade, and I hooped in Deion's the football shoe, but it was a basketball sneaker. But I hooped in those growing up, and I wanted to be like like Deion Sanders, man. I look good, feel good, play good,
Right.
and I've always lived and died by that as a kid, man.
Dion.
Those are my two
Dion was an
favorite
influence,
shoes.
huh?
Yeah, big time, man. He was the best in football at the time, one of the best ever, and then Michael Jordan. So I was like, I love both sports.
Mhm.
So for me, I had great role models and them two guys to try to be like, growing up. So it made it real easy to go out and attack the game like I did.
Yeah, well, some would say you had the two best role models. Like that's the ideal role models right there. And you
Yeah,
look at what Deion's doing now with
what we
Colorado.
wanted to be like back in the 90s, man, were those two guys. And
Right.
they made it real easy to fall in love with the game and fall in love with yourself and be happy with, the results that, you put in.
Okay. Oh, well, that's pretty awesome. Jordan, obviously legendary shoe, Deion Sanders. I need to look more into that shoe itself. I know it's pretty hot, or it's been hot for years, but I know he's still doing some different colorways of that. But moving on here, at 5'9", you prove that height doesn't really impact, your game. Obviously, coaches thought different sometimes, right? They would give you the short end of the stick.
Of course.
But at 5'9", you proved a lot of people wrong. Obviously you saw what KD and LeBron said the other day on their podcast. Well, not the other day, a few weeks ago on their podcast, how the little man is kind of being pushed out of the league. It's not really a service needed anymore. And you see guys today like Fred VanVleet, Jose Alvarado, TJ McConnell, and your guy, Peyton Pritchard, close to home. These guys are all above 6 foot. The shortest guys are Yuki Kawamura and Marquise Noel, who are fighting, itching, and clawing, trying to get into the league, trying to get minutes. It's not easy. What advice do you have as somebody that's done it for so many years, um, on the Knicks, on the Celtics? Obviously, on the Celtics, I think you should have got more minutes. That's a different story. But what's a piece of advice you have for these cats that are under 6 to try to get them to, be a bit more productive?
Um, I mean, they are productive already as is. I mean, their game is just what it is. Not saying that they can't get better, but for me, I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with my game. I didn't really care about what people thought about who I was or what my game was.
Right.
I was happy with what it was. My dad, I put in the work. It wasn't that nothing nobody can tell me. I knew I worked harder than anybody on whatever team I was on. Nobody worked harder than me. So my confidence level was high. And then I just loved the game for what it was. It wasn't to make money, it wasn't to be famous. Like I would have played this if I was a garbage man, a fireman. I would have played basketball this way, no matter what job I had or
Hmm.
what it was. If hoop was free, I would have played. It didn't matter to me. It wasn't about the money. It
Wow.
was just about competing against the best. I wanted to be one of the best. That's what drove me to be who I was.
Right.
So when I played, and it was hard playing at the level I did and the height I was during the time I played.
Right.
It's just now, guys, they just want taller. They just want bigger. They just want, the next tall best thing instead of understanding that the little guy can be just as, what you're looking for. You guys are just looking past us because we're
Right.
short.
Just needs a chance. And, I would say
That's
going back
all. It's
to,
just opportunity, man.
right.
And I just hope that they get the opportunity and they seize it and take advantage of it.
Right.
Um, I would say for them, just keep working on your game every day, not just one thing, just everything about your game. So for me, once I got to the league and I worked on my game, I worked on it every day. I started sharpening my mind. I started watching more film. I started watching myself, where I can get better at. And,
Mhm.
each year production, level, it went up. Everything went up, the points, the assists, the steals, the rebounds, the blocks, efficiency, everything just went up. Free throw shooting, just the way I played, the fan base, everything, it just goes up when you believe in yourself, you put in the work, you don't, cut corners. Um, I think, some people get content and they get comfortable by just being on the team. I wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy with being on the bench and not playing. I wanted to play. So
Yeah. You,
when
you
I
want
played
to,
with the Knicks, when I was, wasn't playing, I was going to West 4th Street. I was going to the Rucker. I was going outside.
oh,
I
really?
was in leagues. I was in like those New York sports leagues when I wasn't supposed to, but I was doing it because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna find a way to keep playing the game I love no matter what.
And
So,
that's so interesting. You were on the Knicks and you were playing street ball when you
yep.
didn't get enough minutes. You were out. Wow, I've never heard of
So
that
I was
before.
playing, I would go to practice with the team, and then, days where I would go to the game, I wasn't playing, get a DNP,
Hmm.
no biggie. The next day, I go to practice. I'm going to the sports club to hoop with regular people, and
Okay.
working on my game, shooting jumper, working on what I wanted to work on. So then when I went to practice, I was ready. I was always ready. So I just
Yeah.
love the game so much. I played it
So
whenever I
you
want.
play as much as you can. That's great advice to, not just these cats that are under 6 foot, but just anybody.
Yeah,
So
fine runs, man. Fine runs. Those short guys,
yep.
Jalen, Noel, and the other guy you named, Alvarado. If you guys are not playing, fine runs. Summertime, fine runs.
Mhm.
Go to wherever they're hooping at. Find where Westbrook and Trey Youngs and where these guys are hooping at, and pull up on them. Even if
Uh,
even if you don't get the invite, find out where they're going and just pull up. That's what I used to do. I used to just
Right,
pull up. I would go to Rico runs. I would go to here. I would go there. I would play in the Drew League. I would play wherever. I just wanted to run and showcase what I can do and where I can showcase what I can do for whatever team that needs me. It wasn't
right,
that I was playing for whatever team. I was showing that I can play in the league no matter what team I was on.
right. And it takes a special type of person to understand that no matter what arena you're at, you have to perform. The
Yeah.
Jamal Crawfords, the Kobe Bryants, that Drew Lee, you saw what he did versus James Harden and DeMar DeRozan. But just no matter where you're at, what hood you're at, what town you're at, that's the mindset I think not a lot of players have in today's league. And I don't want to downplay today's league because we got some killers in today's league. But a lot of these players, even KD said, they need more runs. They need more summer runs. They need more just playing. So, but going back to what you said about Westbrook, Westbrook sparked something in me. So I had a question for you. And this is going to be kind of like, a day in a life question because everybody has a different routine. I remember when Josh Smith was getting ready for his game day, he would always have the same omelet every morning. His chef would cook him the omelet and then he would cook him a sandwich to go to practice with him. So from when you get up, what was your routine? Was it different every day? Did you have the same routine? Did you need it to get
I'm not really superstitious like that. I really never had a routine or eat, certain things. I mean, like I always had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich when I got to the gym. Like when I got down to go ready to hoop. Like that
right?
was
But put yourself in this scenario. You're facing Westbrook. Westbrook is on the calendar the next day. How are
yeah.
you prepping for that? Because you know you're going to have to be on point.
Yeah. So I'm going back to watch highlights. I'm going back to watch what he does, tendencies, watching how aggressive he is, kind of like, you just lose yourself in the game.
Right.
I'm going to practice. I'm going to work on my game, of course, my offense, my things. And then I'm watching film to watch how I can guard him defensively, how I can get under his skin, how I can make it difficult for him.
Mhm.
And for me, like how I prepare myself was I watch film early on. I go to practice, do my thing. I come home. I'm just watching film. He's on the TV as I'm making. If I'm doing food or I'm playing with my kids, I'm chilling with my kids or having fun. I'm still watching. I'm still
Still watching.
game, and I'm enjoying my time with my family before I leave. When I'm in the car, if I'm getting a ride from uh, one of my boys that dropped me off, I got on my phone or on an iPad. I'm watching film. I'm watching everything he's doing.
Right.
You just lose yourself into you know finding out what your enemies is going to do, how he's going to approach the game,
Right.
and just watch for tendencies, and then when I get to the game, I write in my journal. I visualize what I want to do, how I want to play. Even if it's something funny I notice, I just write down the things that is on my mind. I get it on paper.
You're
I
a
get it
writer.
on my mind so I can clear my thoughts. And then I got to play some good music to get me hyped, dancing and enjoying, getting that good vibrations, get energy, good, be on the best frequency you can possibly be on. And
Yep.
then when I'm in the game, when I'm warming up, I watch I watch my opponent and see how he's warming up, if he's going hard or if however he's doing, just so I can get the vibe of how much energy I'm going to have to match him tonight. And then when I go out there and play, once the ball's, the jumped and I come off the bench. So, I know to bring my energy because I know that, they've done their research and they're studying and doing the scout report and they know what I'm bringing to the table. And I just go out there and play free. And then when I get my assignment and I'm locked in on him, I'm remembering everything that he does. He likes to go hard one way, this way, and come back, step back. And I'm already thinking about all the things that he can possibly do. So I'm just trying to, match his energy and how he attacks me, I attack him on the other end just the same way.
Wow. first of all, I did not know you were that type of attention to detail person.
Yeah, you got to be.
You
You got
got
to
to
be.
be in the NBA,
You
huh?
got to know. And then you tell me you watch film. You see the highlights they play on Sports Center and
Right.
on TV. You know what that person brings. And Westbrook is always one of the toughest covers to play because he plays with so much energy. Like it ain't even about the moves that he do. Like sometimes he don't even do no move. He just go by you and just try to dunk on you. Like you got to match that. Like a person like me, I would love to, try to go block that dunk just to let him know I'm matching your energy.
Right.
It won't be just an easy night every time, all night tonight. You're gonna have to really bring your A game, to try to kill me, and I'm gonna go right back at you on the other end. So it was always fun to compete against guys like that go as hard as you
Right.
because it brings the best out of you, man. And you always, and then you respect that. Like you respect that person, you respect that as a player, and you get respect back because you ain't backing down. So it's always been love, and it's always been a great deal of respect when you play against somebody like that.
Right. Okay. And speaking on just matchups and things of that nature, obviously you spoke on Westbrook. You've spoken in the past about because you've played ones against some pretty solid players, Steve Francis,
Yeah,
and I know you mentioned Jimmy Butler gave you problems.
any problems because Jimmy's a good defender and he can play offense as well. So
Mm-hmm. But what's one player that we might not have heard from you that in the league while you were matching up with him, you had to kind of be on your P's and Q's? Obviously, Kobe's one, KD's another, right? But I'm talking about the point guard position. What was who was somebody, it could be somebody random like CJ Watson or, Mo Williams, somebody that people don't really discuss too much, or it could be D Rose.
man, I mean, honestly, there's two people that I honestly say that like at my position and they came off the bench just like me. That was somebody that that could get it going and at any time, and you had to really be on your game. It was Lou Will was one guy that can turn it up and score. Like he had to play the role of the sixth man, but Lou Will was a guy that if you like let him go, you know what I'm saying, he can really get after it. I'll say three. One was young Monte Ellis when he came off the bench for we believe that little squad. When Monte Ellis was coming off the bench before he earned his right to start, one of the toughest covers ever that I
Wow.
ever had to guard. And
Monte
then
Ellis.
yeah, Monte Ellis. So it's
Wow.
Monte Ellis, Lou Will, and I'm gonna say this name is gonna throw everybody off, but how hard he went and the team he played on and the role that he played helped that team was JJ Barea.
Wow.
JJ Barea was a tough cover, man, because he was strong. He can drive, he can
Right.
shoot it when he's open, but he was just a pest.
Right.
And playing with Dirk and Jason Terry and the Dallas Mavericks, that fit was perfect for him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That fit was perfect. So he was a tough cover, come off the bench and being somebody that people probably slept on and don't even know. Some people probably don't even know who that is.
And
You know what I'm saying? So
he's one of the players where I'm so happy that you gave him his flowers because he got a little bit of notoriety recently about his impact in the finals.
yeah.
But just what he did for that team, because people don't realize he was on the Mavs for a while. I'm not sure how long, but he
He
was
was, he
that
was he was
guy.
a tough cover for a while. Like coach was like, if he plays, this is who you got to watch out for coming off the bench and blah blah blah. And so he was a tough cover, and it was always fun, going against a guy like that.
Yeah. Fun, but it could also be a challenge because I know how angry he made people. He made Andrew Bynum so angry. Andrew Bynum punched him in midair. You saw that?
Yeah, so it be like that. And sometimes as a little guy, bro, you got to bring that Napoleon complex out and you got to get under people's skin. Because I used to do it all the time. People, I know if you probably ask certain players that played against me, they're like, they fucking hate Nate Robinson because I was
Right.
just like this and talk a lot of shit and I can back it up when
Oh,
I
you
play.
talk too?
Yeah, I talk a lot of shit.
Wow,
You
I
got
didn't know.
to.
I thought you
You
were
got to talk. You got to talk shit to get under people's skin just to make them mad and they can't think straight while they're playing. So it's just fun for me. I just liked it because it was just fun to do.
I love it. I love it. And that honestly, it opens my eye a little bit about just your competitive nature in general because you everybody knows you're not 6'6", you're not 6'8".
Right.
You're not
They better be lucky I wasn't. People better be lucky I wasn't
that's what I'm
that.
saying.
That'd been a
I
problem.
think you'd be the greatest
Even
player of
more
all
of a
time.
problem.
That's just me. Um, But long story short, I'm glad you gave those people their flowers. Lou Will, who was the third one or the
Lou
second one?
Will, Monte Ellis, and JJ Barrera.
Killers, all three killers, and Berea was one too. So thank you for mentioning him. Uh,
Oh, and my boy Will Bynum. I
oh my
don't know
God,
from Chicago, bro. Like that
uh,
was my guy. We worked out a lot of times together when we was coming up in the NBA. I have
mhm,
our pre-draft workouts. I ran into him a lot. Another guy that doesn't get his flowers like he should, and that's my brother. Like we talk all the time,
right.
and big
How's he
respect
doing?
to
Good?
his game. Big respect to his game. He was dealing with what I was dealing with when I was with the Knicks, with Detroit, and the teams he been on. They never really gave him a chance to blossom to be who
Right.
he should have been in the league. Man, they missed out a lot. A lot of teams missed out on gems, on hidden gems, and he's one of the hidden gems. And I got to give my bro his flowers because he don't get the respect he deserves. And he coming out of Chicago, the before the D Roses, before certain guys, the Pat Bevs and everybody else, like he was a killer.
Right. Um, so my bad.
You
But no, yeah. I'm glad you brought Will Bynum up, and that's when I started watching the NBA. So I started watching the NBA around that time when he was on the Pistons, and
it's tough,
you
tough
know, I remember
cover.
watching him like, is this a superstar? Because
And he'll dunk on you too. Like, don't play that. You butter rim. He know how
him,
to
Rodney
know how to
Stuckey,
play.
they were running things out there. But yeah, moving on, and I'm glad you gave those guys their flowers because they definitely were people that whenever they needed a bucket, they could pretty much get it.
Yeah.
Right? JJ Barea more so, playmaker or whatnot, but he could get
He
it
can
too.
get he can get a bucket too. I've been a part.
Uh,
I've watched him, do his thing, can get a bucket, run a team, play the right way. And that's what they expect us to do too. A lot of the time, change our game just to fit in. And for me, I never wanted to fit in. I always wanted to stand out. So I just wanted them to respect, the game that I brought to the table.
right. And just a quick side question. This is going to be this is something I was thinking about actually because I'm not sure if you've ever obviously you've searched yourself up on YouTube, right?
Yeah, of course. Who doesn't?
What was going on in those Boston Celtics practices? Because I saw you throwing shoes at Shaq, dunking on Shaq, Shaq chasing you,
It was just
trying
like
to get
it
his
was
free
like
throw
these guys.
routine.
It was just fun, bro.
Right,
Like with that crew, we knew when it's time to work hard and when it's time to play and have fun. Like when
right.
we're at practice and we're having fun, we're doing stuff like that's like after practice, after we're done working
Oh,
hard.
that was after.
Like
Okay,
after we're done and we're just shooting around and we guys are just clowning around.
gotcha.
We tell stories, guys are telling stories, and they usually be under the hoop. So whenever I got a chance to somebody stand under the hoop, I was dunking on them. No matter if it was Shaq, KG, Rondo, whoever
Right,
was getting an opportunity to dunk on them, I was trying, and it was just fun to do. Like that was the game. It was like you get caught dunked on. It was
right.
it was a fun thing to do. So we had
Oh,
fun. That
God.
team was awesome, man. I learned so much from the greats, KG, Paul, Jesus Shuttlesworth as in Ray Allen,
Mhm.
Rondo. It was just so much fun. Paul Pierce. It was just lit to be around those guys, man. They made it so much fun to learn the game from them, to hear the stories, and to
Mhm.
be aside of them. Making it to the finals, the year that I was playing with them was great.
Right. One thing, actually, I think that was, to be honest with you, a little disrespectfful, but also a little funny, was when they started calling you and Big Baby Davis Shrek and Donkey.
Donkey.
I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
well, I kind of in the interview that day, I think that was game 4. I can't remember what game it was, but
Mhm.
me and Baby played great, and we helped our team win. Against legendary rest in peace Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. It was awesome, bro. It was something that you couldn't even dream of. You know what I'm saying? It's something like it's so far fetched. Like me and Big Baby had the game that we had to help our team win, and then they had us on the podium. And I was
And the
telling,
main
I was
reason
telling,
you guys
yeah,
won, the main reason.
I was telling Baby that day, I was like, dang, bro. I say we're gonna go crazy. I said, bro, they about to have us on the podium in front. You know how everybody do the podium during the playoffs. This is the finals, like asking us questions, and so that day I was just like, yeah, me and Baby, we're like Shrek and Donkey. Like at that time, like Shrek was like one of the most, you know, talked about movies,
Yep.
kid movies, DreamWorks, came up with a great movie. And when I look at the movie, me and Big Baby were Shrek and Donkey. He looked like Shrek. I looked like Donkey. Like I never shut up. And
Right.
Big Baby was who he was. Like it was just perfect. And the next day, next game, people were coming with, shrinking donkey shirts with me and Big Baby's face on it. Like,
Oh wow.
it was just lit, bro, and it was pretty cool that we got to experience that together. And coming off the bench and playing and bringing the energy, it just meant so much more, man. And it
Yeah.
was just a blessing to be a part of something special like that. And me and Big Baby are still cool to this day. So, uh, it was love. The Shrek and Donkey thing was pretty cool and iconic.
Big Baby is somebody I talk to here and there. Obviously, I haven't recently because he's serving. Uh,
Yeah,
can't wait till he gets out, and hopefully we can get him on this podcast as well. But yeah, so moving on here, let's talk about an average day in the locker room. You're getting ready for the game. Back in the day, you did have iPods, you did have different aspects of music listening. What was on your playlist? Was it a little bit of everything, or was it just
I
one
had a little bit of everything,
artist?
but for me and my teammates, they used to get mad because I used to bring the West Coast, E40,
Mm.
Mac Dre, Too Short. I would bring in, you know, that type of style, to the East Coast when I was on the Knicks, and that,
Oh,
they wanted to listen to the Jay-Z, the 50 Cent, Nas, all that. But I mean, I'm a fan of all that. I'm a fan of all music, all genres. But for me, like when I was getting hyped, I sent you, Jadakiss is one of my favorite rappers of all time. Kiss, how he sets his bars up and how he uh, paints a picture and articulates what he's, thinking about, how he wants you to see it and how he maps it out. It's nothing like I've ever heard, any other rapper do.
right.
Uh, he's one of my favorites of all time. So I used to bump Kiss a lot to get to in that killer mode. E40 was another one, from being from the West Coast, listen to Mac Dre, music that gets you, dancing and getting you in that good vibe.
Yeah.
Uh, and it was just a good time back in those days of having good music, man. I mean, now music it's cool and all. They got all the people that they listen to. But
Who are you
I'm
listening to now?
mostly
Are you listening to like G Herbo, NBA YoungBoy, any of these new guys, or
who I listen to, man.
Joyner Lucas is
I'm
good?
still I'm still I'm still old school, man. I still listen to Kiss and these guys that still the Nas's and stuff. But let me see. I mean, I listen to Kendrick, listen to Drake, some of the his songs. I mean, but you know, Chris
You're
Brown,
a
Chris
Drake guy.
Brown, I rock with Breezy.
Breezy, okay.
He makes some good, good music that you can vibe to.
Breezy's a legend.
Um, Back in the day, like Migos in the 2013s, 15, all that was Migos. I was bumping Migos. Migos is lit. Let me see now. Let me look. I can look at my phone and tell you some of the.
Yeah, what have you been listening to, man? Fans want to know.
I mean, now one of the songs I love is Crescent Moon by NLE Choppa. I
Okay.
just put that recently on my daughter's little thing. I just posted her little highlight tape. That song kind of go hard. Like I'm old school, man. I like Shaq. You Can't Stop the Rain back in the
Oh
day.
wow.
Standing by Shaq. Uh, let me see what else I'll be bumping. Let me see.
A little bit of everything while you were in the locker room. Okay, and you said you used to bump a lot of West Coast.
West Coast Nipsey Hussle, of
Yeah, oh,
course.
he's my
Shout out
favorite.
to Nip. Nip is somebody I've been playing for years.
Mhm.
Um,
Right? Wow. Okay. And you know who showed me a lot of Nipsey? It was Isaiah Thomas.
yeah, that's me and him kind of linked together. I'm a big Wiz guy too, Wiz Khalifa.
Because
Now I love, like Larry June, La Russell. Like that's my wave. That's what I rock with. That's in my playlist for the most part. And then I like, there's individual songs that I like, not just the artist, but just the songs when they be on. I was a big fan of Gucci Man, Two Chains, coming up, Kanye, Yeezy growing up, he was lit. Uh, um,
so game 7 of the NBA Finals, you got one song to play before you go on. What are you playing?
oh man, it's got to be something to get me hype. Uh, man, I mean, it'd be something like Juicy J, something with the Hot Boys,
Okay.
you
Get you in
know,
the right mood.
yeah, Hot Boys, Juvie, Lil Wayne. I don't know. It'll be something however I'm feeling at the time.
All right,
Uh,
for sure.
so trying to They're trying to be,
Right.
in the players part of it so they can help the players, do the right thing and stay on the right path. So that's pretty dope.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to see that, there is opportunity after the NBA. I know a lot of these guys are getting involved with the NBA, so
And you have to because it's us that build it. Like, why are we listening
oh
to
yeah,
people that haven't been what we've been or done or experienced what we experienced? The kids
exactly.
want to listen to. They want to hear from us. They want to hear from how we did it and what mistakes we made and how we can stop them from making the same mistakes that we made. So it's pretty good. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they're being productive outside the league. But yeah, moving on here. So we are recording. I appreciate you
Yeah,
talking to me a little bit about the music and just
yeah, for sure.
the vibes that you have to go through as a basketball player and how you have to keep them high, because your performance is what gets you paid. Um, but yeah, moving on here. This is going to be more so of a because you are a point guard, which I would say is, in my opinion, the most important position on the court. Because not only do you have to play defense, you also have to get people involved, and you also have to put the ball in the hole. So,
Yeah.
coming up, who was your favorite dribbler, favorite point guard, favorite person that you saw playing on TV that you were like, okay, I'm gonna go outside and work on those moves right now? Who was that player for you?
That player for me growing up, I would say I would say Iverson because he was in college when I was
Okay.
young, growing up watching him, do his thing. My dad used to make me watch guys like Chris Jackson, Mahmoud. He was like the
Wow.
first, yeah, he was like the first one that my dad was like, man, watch Chris Jackson back when he was in LSU. We used to have cassette tapes. And my dad used to, record games, and he's like, man, he's one of the coldest. He was like Steph Curry before Steph Curry, but with more mid-range game, not just threes. He was a killer. Mahmoud was one of the coldest, and I used to watch him all the time, and how he used to cook John Stockton and all the other guards growing up. He was he was just unstoppable.
Right.
So he was one of them. Iverson, of course, um, and then guys like um, Rayford Austin, like Skip to My Lou. We used to watch the and one mixtapes and all the stuff. I don't know how I even got all the way to Seattle, but
That's what I was
we were
gonna say. How did that get all the way to Seattle?
burning to people had burn tapes and why I don't know. It was just a thing. It just you watch the guys like AO and Maniac and all these different players from the Rucker, and they were getting these nicknames and how they dribbling. We would go outside and try to practice that. That's where we got our handles and
Right.
everything from. So it was
Okay.
just guys like Rayford Austin. Skip to my new shout out to him uh, for being one of the first street ballers to ever make it to the league and show that you can do it, bro. It was lit watching him do what he do. Like he was more famous for and one than he was probably in the league. And
Rayford today, I think, would do a lot better because he would have more freedom to do those moves.
yeah, so today would have been lit if he would have came in playing how he did at Rucker and
Mhm.
played in the NBA. Like they were trying to control and change a lot. But
Right.
he was street ball legend. He made me want to go to the Rucker and play just
Right.
off of him playing alone, being who he was. So when I got my chance to be in the league, that was the first. I was excited for the NBA. Don't get me wrong, but I was almost more excited to play in the Rucker after I got done playing in the league in the summer. I stayed my rookie year in New York for like the first couple months until Rutgers started, just so I could play in it.
hmm And
That was a dream come true.
Rucker is one of those plays. I'm sure it was Rucker or
Or Dykeman.
Dyke. Did you play Dykeman?
I played Dykeman. I ain't playing Dykeman. I played in Rucker. I went to West Fourth. I played in another tournament out in New York. I can't remember, but it was just a Rucker for me. Rucker was everything.
Yeah, Rucker is where legends are made. I know every legend has played there. Kobe, Dr.
Yeah, I mean, you got to imagine, bro, being from New York and seeing that with your own. I mean, being from Seattle and then coming to New York, seeing the Rucker in New York. Like there's a basketball court almost on every corner in New York City, which I thought was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
hmm
Like it makes you want to be from New York. Like I wish that I was born in New York to be able to just be able to play basketball whenever I wanted. Because Seattle rains a lot, but still like to be outside, all these people watching, getting a nickname, getting your name, your brand, and who you are in the city talking about you. Like, can you imagine having a cell phone back in the day and the Rucker times and growing up in the 90s, 80s, 90s and playing and watching who came through and who played what, like it'd have been unbelievable. Those guys would have been famous before even, more famous than NBA players.
Unbelievable. And I'm glad you paying homage to that, um, the street ball legacy, right?
You
So,
got to, bro. That's part of basketball history. It's
right.
not just like the NBA. The NBA wasn't the first, you know, show of, on the planet. It was,
Mhm.
the street ball legends,
Right.
getting a name in from your hood and your block. Like that was it. That
Right.
was the thing. Like back when I played in high school, like you had to be there. We didn't have like besides the news, if the news came and filmed our games, like we didn't have people recording like that back in the day. Maybe a dad or two, somebody's
Right.
dad or somebody's uncle that wanted to record the games and have the tapes. It
Mhm.
wasn't like that now. Like now you got people just pulling up, recording games. Like if they would have seen me play in high school and how in my high school team and what we did, we'd be one of the most famous, talked
You'd be
about teams
like
ever.
Montverde, all these other guys, Chino Hills. That would have been you guys.
Oh,
uh,
for sure. I mean,
but
I mean, well, I'm gonna gas because it's my high school, Rainier Beach High School in Seattle, Washington, one
mhm.
of the best public high schools in the country.
Yep.
I can say that proudly. We have six, almost seven NBA guys.
2025. Now you're talking about?
Yeah, my high school now, right now, still
Okay,
to
I
this day.
need I need to
We
do some
have
research.
we have six or seven NBA players from our school out of
Right.
Seattle, Washington. All of them went first round.
Okay.
Two, I think we have two. Is it two, three lottery picks?
Wow. Okay,
I
so I
think
need to do
almost
some
two or
research.
three lottery picks out of our high school alone.
Right.
Doug Christie, Jamal Crawford, and I think Terrence Williams.
Oh, wow. These guys went to your high school?
DeJounte Murray, Kevin Porter Jr.,
Yep.
Marshawn Beauchamp, Nate Robinson, Jamal Crawford, and um, Doug Christie.
And you know what's funny about all those people is that every single one of those people love to play basketball whenever they get free time. So there's
Yeah,
something in that
all
water
hoopers.
you guys
They
have
were
over
hoopers,
there
bro.
where
All hoopers.
just hoopers, just pure hoopers. And I think
Get it in.
even watching Jamal Crawford play the other day, and he's dribbling like he hasn't lost a step,
He
you know.
does it because he plays all the time. Like when
Right,
you stop playing, like guys you see that get sloppy and they get big and fat, it's because they really don't love the game like they should, and they stop
right,
playing because they get old.
right. And just
Oh, he's never gonna stop. He's gonna play basketball until you know,
and actually, if you so to answer my question on that and who was the player that I looked at, it was Crawford. I went outside and tried dribbling like him. Obviously, I couldn't dribble like him, but you try and you dribble up
yeah,
and
Jay
down the street,
Crossover. Yeah,
and
that's the guy. I play high school ball with him.
that's awesome, man. And that's the legacy I need to look more into.
Yeah,
Is
he's the reason why I went to Rainier Beach. I wanted to hoop with him.
what was your
Once,
guys' record?
well, we finished. I think we finished like that year. 20. I think 23-11. My
23 and
18
11.
year.
Wow, I want to
Yeah,
know
went
who's
to
the
state,
people
but we
that
didn't
beat
win it.
y'all.
But
I want to know who beat y'all. Those are the teams I want to know about.
well, a lot of the game we probably lost because we was just doing too much.
Right, right.
I was like mixtape and one mixtape in high school.
Throwing lobs and
He
stuff
was
like that.
taking bad shots, and he was the guy of the team, so he could do whatever.
Okay, and to kind of ask you a little bit more of on that, the street ball life and all that. So in 2000, so you came in the league at 2005, obviously number one overall pick with
506. Andrew Bogut.
you were 2005 or 2006?
2005 to well, 2005, 2006 season. That was my
Oh,
rookie year.
okay, okay. Andrew Bogut was one. Chris Paul was in that draft. Darren
Yeah.
Williams. Obviously, they would go back and forth for the next 10 years about who's the
Uh,
best point guard. But long story, or David Lee fell to 30th. I know that, which is crazy.
he was 30. Shannon Fry was 7.
You
I
were
was
21,
21.
and
Yeah.
after you was
Raymond Felton was in there. Rashawn McCants.
Jarrett Jack.
Marvin Williams, who's from Washington,
Right. So my
number
question
two.
is, since you guys grew up, 4 or 5 years prior to that, you guys were teenagers coming up, working on your skills. Were you guys watching and one, right? Were you guys watching Hot Sauce? Were you guys watching The Professor? And if so, did you guys have respect for those players once you made it, or did you guys say, "Oh no, I'm better than those guys now. I'm in the league."
We have respect for him, but like when you get to the league, like you get to the pinnacle. Some people don't get to make it to where the ultimate goal is.
Right.
It's like we want to get there. We want to be one of the ones. Like
Mhm.
It's an elite group, and it's tough to make it there. Especially out of your situation and where you're from. The streets is cold. A lot of people got lost in the shuffle. Due to the streets, due to SAT scores and school and a lot of things, man. A lot of some of the greatest players probably in the world probably never make it to the NBA. You
Wow.
know, it just happens like when you get to that point, it ain't like you hold your head high like you're better than them or whatever. It's just, some people are blessed with that opportunity and some people are not. It's like how bad you want it, and some people get selected, some people don't.
Wow, man. And, that really shows how small of a chance there is to make the league, and you can
Oh,
get,
slim to none.
yeah, slim to none.
Slim to none,
Yep. And I
and
looked it up for you specifically. For you, it's actually, there is no chances for a guy like under six,
you
right?
feel me? And if be one of those guys and last that long was a blessing, and I wouldn't take it for granted. I loved every minute of it. For me, what I got out of it was the reward of getting my name called was the hard work, is blood, sweat, and tears that I put into it.
Hmm.
So it wasn't handed to me. That's what people don't understand. Like you feel like some people are tall, they get more opportunity, more chances, their rope is longer.
Hmm.
You're little and short like myself. You got a short leash, short rope.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You do something that gets on your coach's nerves. See, look, he's not ready, or he blah blah blah. Like it's always something. You
Right.
know,
And to kind of ask you more
normal
about,
person always
I
get
have
more
a
love.
question on that. How did you deal with that? Because you did oftentimes get looked down on in a way that, you had to kind of prove yourself. And I remember you scored 13 points in one quarter in the finals. I mean, not in the finals, in game six against Orlando, to kind of bring you guys to the finals. And, next thing you know, in the finals, you're not getting many minutes. So how did those decisions affect you mentally? And were you the type of guy that did you get bogged down, or did you look at it as an opportunity to
Nah,
kind
man,
of push
I knew who I was. I look in the mirror and I can be happy with who I see. I wasn't really worried about it because I tell people now, there's only one person that ever locked me up in the game, and that's my coach.
yourself?
Ain't nobody, I don't think nobody in the world at that time with me playing, nobody can stop me from doing what I wanted to do.
Nobody could stick you one on one.
It was my coach, bro. It's it. If
Right.
my coach would have been believed in me and let me, I could have averaged 25, 30 points a game in the NBA if I wanted to.
Oh, you
And
were at 17 and then
not
yeah.
to be sitting here like just like the kids say capping or not. There's no cap. I know what I could have done if I would have been played the way, especially how open the NBA was compared to
Right.
college. Like,
17
and
points per game, 17, 18 points per game,
yeah,
29 minutes, and then the next season you go down to 12, 14
12,
minutes. How
13,
does that
yeah,
make sense?
because of coach, that's it. But to answer your question, like I just worked harder. Like, okay, you're gonna put me because I'm gonna show you when you put me in the game, I'm gonna show you why you should be playing me. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that's all for me. Like I wasn't gonna pout and be mad and be like, "Go send me to the D League so I can play." Nah, I'm gonna just grind. And when you call my number, I will be ready. I promise you that.
Right.
Won't be
Okay.
no hiccups, no he's not ready. No, I'm ready. Just put me in the game and just let me do my thing. And I know how to play the game the right way. I
Mhm.
read the room. I know when somebody get it going, I'm gonna pass on the ball. I'm gonna get my shooters the ball. I'm gonna push it down the court. My dad taught me how to play the game. I'm not worried. I'm
Yeah.
happy with myself and what I did to get here. You're not gonna keep me from working hard every day and doing what I'm supposed to do. So I just lost myself in the game and just wanted to get better. So I took that as an opportunity to get better and wait my turn patiently. And when I got the opportunity, man, I'm enjoying myself, giving God the glory. Like, I'm just happy to be here, bro. That's it. Like, there's nothing y'all can do. I'm where I'm supposed to be, and if I'm not playing right now, cool, it's cool. But guess what? Somebody's gonna go down, or somebody's gonna get hurt, or somebody's gonna not play, and I'm gonna be there. You're gonna have to play me
Right.
one day, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do.
Mhm. And I
All the
think,
questions,
I
all the
think,
questions are gonna be for the coach, all the media.
oh,
Why is Nate Robinson not playing? I'm gonna play hard, so hard where the fans are screaming my name. We won, Nate. Like that's happened many times in the Garden where I wasn't playing and fans coming to the
we
game.
won, Nate.
We
We
want
won.
to see Nate play. So that's something that they have to answer, not me. I know what I bring to the table.
Right. And I think to build on that a little bit more, that's why people love you so much around the world. When I did my intro, I probably could have done it a little bit better in the sense that you are one of the most loved players of all time. The last six
Appreciate that.
months, yeah, last 6 months I was living in the Philippines. And I was living with my uncle out there, kind of just went there for to try new things and try new food and meet new people. You're big out there. Like people love you in the Philippines, right? And
I gotta go.
yeah, and
I
it's one
need
of
to
those
go
things
one day.
where I think your impact is universal, where people understand that because in the Philippines, people look up to guys like Kobe, guys like you know Curry, guys like that like did things that were not normal. So just want to give you your flowers on that end, but to kind of talk about Kobe a little bit more is I know I saw a picture on your profile of your son with Kobe.
Yeah, my son, man. I remember that day. That's when he had what do you have, 61 on us?
What?
Yeah, Kobe had 61 that day.
Oh my God.
Um,
And he was happy enough to he was okay to take a picture after that. He was like,
yeah, so it's funny, because Kobe takes a long time after the game is over because he has the media, get in the shower, do media, walk, with security, of course, walk down to the bus, and it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? I know him being who he is. It's like Michael Jordan walking, like it's a lot. And my oldest son, Namir, he was like, Dad, I want a picture with Kobe. And I'm
"Mhm,
like, damn, I'm gonna have to make this. I don't know how I'm gonna make this work, but I'm gonna ask.
right.
So we waited. Like, how everybody leaves again, like Kobe, I guess he get on his, they made the bus wait for him. So I
Mhm.
waited.
Right.
And my sons, both of them, my younger one too, was like, yeah, Dad, I want a picture with Kobe too. And we're gonna wait. We're not leaving here until we get a picture with Kobe. So that's how my kids were
Oh
talking. So
my God.
they wanted the picture.
Hmm.
So I asked Kobe when he was walking, he came and, dapped me up, and I told him great game. He was like, man, he loves my game. He was like, yeah, Nate, he said, you got to just continue to be that killer, keep working hard, outwork everybody. And then I was like, man, will you do me a favor, man? It'd be an honor. Would you take a picture with my boys?
Right.
He was like, of course. And he picked them up. I thought he was just gonna, stand there next to him. He picked one up, took a picture with, and picked the other one up, took a picture.
Hmm.
And uh
Wow.
that just changed my life. It gave me a whole nother look at, because he, so many people probably want a picture and he has to turn so many people down. He didn't have to take a picture.
Right.
Even if he said no, I wouldn't have tripped because I understand, of who he is and what he has to deal with. So when he took the picture with my boys and I told them late when they were young, I said, you guys will appreciate this picture
Hmm.
in 15, 20 years from now. You'll
Right.
understand the dynamic of who this man was and what he brought to the game and what he meant to so many people off and on the court.
Mhm.
And like, my son still talks about that picture to this day. And I always post it for his birthday. Like when my kid's birthday, I always add that picture on there because it just shown around. I want my kids to know that you guys been around greatness since you guys were born, since you guys have been little babies. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that you're gonna be able to be one day. Like
Mhm.
you're gonna be that to somebody because you guys are that to me now, but you're gonna be that to somebody else.
Wow.
Mean the world to somebody like that. So I'm just trying to get them to see, what kind of energy, what kind of aura, what kind of frequency that they're on. It's different than other people. So you got to, respect that part of it. And then, you enjoy those memories. That's something that nobody can take from them knowing that they've been that close to greatness. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was just a blessing to be able to, have a
Wow.
picture taken with, you know, your children that you love dearly and then somebody that you looked up to that you wanted to be like.
Yeah.
So
And how was your relationship with him personally? Because I'm reading a quote here. It says, Nate, this is your quote. It's from ChatGPT. I'm not sure if you actually said it, but it says, I always wanted to play with Kobe Bryant. I used to tease him every time free agency would have come around. Like, what's up, bro?
yeah, I said that to him. So one day, you know, we played against the Lakers and I had like 33. And me and Kobe was going back bucket for bucket. And I was scoring so much that he had to come out and guard me like a couple times. And I was like, dang, I said, when I got the ball, I'm like, damn, what an honor. I
But
got the
when
greatest, one of the greatest
Kobe starts
players.
pulling his shorts up,
Yeah, so it was like you can go back and watch. I posted a couple times. We had a game and going back and forth, and he ended up getting the game winning shot, and then he slapped me on the butt and was like good game and you know
Mhm.
like what a play and he was like he'd be yelling at his teammates like why can't y'all play and have heart like Nate Robb like Nate and
Oh
he
my
was like we
God.
need a dog like that on our team. I was like man I was like tell him make a trade for me or something like I would love to hoop with Kobe
Wow.
like. That'd
So
been a dream
Kobe
come true.
Kobe was really meticulous like that because you're not the first NBA player that he used as an example. He used Jeff Teague too because he used to say to Jeremy Lin, "Why can't you play like Teague?" So he used to
Yeah.
try to, put fuel to the fire for his own teammates, but it's pretty cool how you had a real relationship with the guy, right?
Yeah, just on the court, wasn't nothing off the court, but he always, when he see me, he always show love, always show respect,
Mhm.
always say you love my game. So that's just something you take with you that can make you go harder and make you appreciate the game. And you got that Kobe mentality. That's a real thing, bro. Like watching him do what he did over the years, it was the closest thing we had to Michael Jordan. Like I
Mhm.
never got to play against Michael Jordan, but
Right,
I got to play against Kobe Bryant, just the next best thing. So it was just a blessing. I mean,
right.
I had my career high in a pair of Kobe's. So that's just something that I can always cherish and
Fun.
always talk about. What number were they? Um,
And your career high, I'm gonna try to guess
against
was
Portland.
45.
Yep, against Portland.
Yep.
Against one of my good friends, Brandon Roy. So yeah, man, I
Right.
forgot what number Kobe's they were.
Yeah.
But
But Bulls fans would be pretty mad at me if I didn't ask you about this little stint of your career, which was when you went absolutely berserk. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Uh, you
the Nets game.
were unstoppable. First of all,
Yeah.
before we get into that game, as a Bull, did you ever get the pleasure to meet Michael Jordan? Was he ever in the?
I met him during the dunk contest. So I met him before, but I was so nervous I didn't know what to say to him.
Wow.
I was like out of words. And then when he was like, "Man, Nate, come here, man." He knew my name. I
He
was like,
called you over?
"Yeah, bro." He called me. I was like, "Oh my God." I couldn't believe I'm talking to Michael Jordan right now. Like I was freaking out. It was a great experience, bro. Just to shake his hand and to be in his presence, I was just like, bro, I'm like, dang. I didn't know what
That
to say. I was
explains
just like,
why
I'm
you
a
won.
fan.
That
And the
explains
first
why you
thing,
won
the
three in a
first thing
row.
I asked him, I was like, how do I get on Brand Jordan?
Right. Oh, so you were
That's the
talking
first thing
business.
I asked him. Yeah, he was like, man, he said, tell your agents to reach out and we can figure something out. So I think when I got with the Denver Nuggets, that's when for 2 years I was with Brand Jordan for 2 years.
Okay.
And one of the best opportunities I had for a shoe company was to be signed with Team Jordan.
Wow. Okay. Well, I appreciate you
All I
bringing.
wanted was merch. I didn't even want no money. I said, just give me the merch. I
Just
just
give
want
me
the
the
kicks.
Jordans. That's it. A
Kicks.
lifetime supply of Jordans would be nice.
I just want the kicks, man. The kicks is where it's at. But
Mhm.
it was cool, man. Playing in Chicago was amazing because I literally got the opportunity to showcase that I can play the game of basketball and not just be a dunker or a guy that come off the bench just to score. I
Mhm.
want to show him I can do it all. So that was the first opportunity I got to showcase what I really can do.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have any choice but to be a high IQ player, right? Because if you didn't make the right play, we all know what would happen. But yeah, just
Know how
talk
kids
about
is. Yeah.
talk about that burst that you had. I'm blanking out on exactly what your stats were, but I think you scored about somewhere about 30 points in the second half.
Oh
Um,
yeah, the what's the name game? I had 23 in the fourth quarter to tie Michael Jordan's playoff record.
oh my
I
gosh.
was, I was 1 point away from having the record for the Bulls in the playoffs in the fourth quarter. Um,
What does it feel to like
and
be in that zone?
it was awesome, man. It was like I think I was just hoping to win the game, of course, but to make guys like Michael Jordan proud that I put on that jersey, just to put on that jersey and being from Chicago, and I wanted to make the city proud. I wanted to bring a life to the city because they had us not making the playoffs. They had us one of the last teams in the East.
Mhm.
So it was a lot. D Rose was out, he was hurt, and so I just wanted to pick up the slack as best I could, and I think I did that. Man, the city was rocking. We made the playoffs. That game we had a solid game. Came back down 16, 17 points with 2 minutes left. So it was just crazy just to be in that zone.
Three
Uh,
overtimes.
yeah, playing in that electricity in the garden, the UC it was just crazy. Fans were up and ready to go. And when you lose yourself in the game, it's like back in the court when you're a kid, you're by yourself, you're just you in the basket. That's
Hmm.
what I felt like. I was in the playground.
See, CJ Watson got into it with you. It was emotional.
Yeah, bro, he elbowed me in the lip and he did
Oh,
it twice. Like kind of quick, you really can't really see it. And then like you watch it slowly, then you can see. So I looked at the ref, I was like, you gonna let him do that? Like the ref is right in front of him. He just let him hit me. So the next time he went to go bump me, I just grabbed him. I was like, man, I'm taking you to the side. Like, you gonna stop doing that. So then after he did that, coach took me out. So I went to the back and I changed my shoes. I was wearing the
Oh
Jordan
wow.
sevens. I was wearing the Black History Month sevens,
Mhm.
and I took those off and I went back and put on the black 13s, the playoff 13s. And for some reason, those shoes carry some type of magic in them or something aura. But I put
Yeah.
those on, end up going crazy. Every time I wear those shoes, some good happened. So I was like, man, I'm gonna just rock these. And it was, and I just turned up,
You
man.
were killer clutch, man.
Teammates
People.
believed in me. The
Oh.
fans were behind me. Coach Tibbs just let me do my thing. So it just made it perfect to be able to end the night like that and go crazy, man. It was pretty cool.
To be honest with you, I personally haven't seen anybody that focused in a game, where literally every single time you got the ball,
Yeah.
there was a good chance you were scoring,
Yeah, I mean,
making the right play.
you just gotta take take advantage of your opportunities. I had a small window and I just took advantage of it. And I just say, you know what? Today I'm just gonna have fun. I'm gonna play. If I get in, just go crazy. Just have fun, do your thing. And I see I play so much better when I do that. When you
Okay.
just out there just enjoying yourself and just playing like because you love the game,
Mhm.
so much more comes out of that.
Okay. So we've been talking for a minute here. Let me see if I could ask because I do have some closing questions, but I want to see if I could get like one or two more before those questions. Let's see. There's so much you've seen. There's so much you've done. There's so much you've been involved with, and there's so many people you've met. What is okay? Oh yeah. So like, what are you doing right now in terms of this summer? Obviously, you're spending a lot of time with your kids, but I did see you were with Mayweather the other day.
Yeah, that was a little event for GNC. Mayweather and them guys come out with an was it a new like I don't know if it's creatine, but a powder and to help the body,
Okay. Kind of like
to
a
get
launch party.
stronger. Yeah, a little launch for it. It was pretty dope. It was on a yacht. Uh, just chilling with some of NBA but ex NBA buddies that played.
Drew
Drew,
Gooden was there. Mhm.
yeah, my guy Drewski. That's a great dude, bro. One of the first college players to be on the front cover of a video game. Let
Extremely
people
skilled.
know. Yeah. So he from the Bay. I'm from the Bay as well. My dad's from Oakland, so he's from the Bay. So that's where we bonded instantly. And then he's just a good dude, bro. Like when you have good people around you that love you, that care for you, that want to hang out, have a good time. He called me, was like, bro, pull up, come have a good time in Miami. So I went for the day. Got to see my bro. It was cool. Got to see Keith Bogus.
Mhm.
Uh, Aaron Gordon was there, so we had a good time, man. It was all love. Got to see
So,
Floyd Mayweather, a
are
lot of
we getting the
influencers.
inside scoop? Is Floyd fighting
What, Pacquiao?
here?
Huh?
Is Floyd fighting, was it Roy Jones or Floyd was supposed to fight somebody,
Oh,
assume.
for real?
Yeah,
I
I
thought
don't know. There was some
Pacquiao. I don't
rumors.
know. I didn't ask him, but
Okay,
knowing Floyd, man, he's such a good mind, and he's always ahead of the game. So
right,
he's probably doing something, fighting somebody for a couple $100 million. Who knows?
right.
But
So
he's Floyd, great guy. One of my favorite boxers of all time. I remember when I was in summer league, he came and they did an interview. They were asking him, "Who is he here to see?" He said, "I'm here to see Lil Nate Robinson." So it's pretty cool that I've been a fan, forever,
yeah.
ever since he came to one of my games like that from back in the day. So
Wow, I didn't know you guys were close. I knew he was good friends. He's been good friends with IT, but
yeah, that's IT.
probably because he thinks he can beat IT one on one, but it never happens. IT always busts his butt.
Yeah, he has no chance.
Okay, well, that's pretty cool that you're still staying productive, still on the
Of
move, still
course.
on the go, still supporting your
I'm about
friends.
to start doing what you're doing, podcasting, start telling my own stories of the NBA. So that's gonna
Yeah.
come up. Start doing doing games again, commentating games and going to the Knicks games and doing appearances and
There you
just
go.
getting back out there from all the years that I missed from being sick. So just starting it slow.
I do
And
want to tip my hat to you. You are a great storyteller, and I don't say this often, but watching your podcast in preparation for this one,
yeah.
the way you explain things, we need more NBA players to come out and talk like that, just because you don't leave a detail turned, right? You talk
You
about
can't,
everything.
bro. You got to be able to tell your truth. I mean, I got so many stories and so many, fun ones, sad ones, crazy ones, but it's a part of the journey.
Okay. So we
They
got
make you who
about
you
so we got about five to 7 minutes left. I got some closing questions for you
are.
here. Um, so Nate, this is t a tough question for you because obviously your pops, helps you out a lot growing up with instilling different morals and how you live right, this and that. But I would say you're one of the players since I would say Spud Webb and Muggsy Bogues that was still able to stay productive at your height.
Yeah.
Where do you get your confidence from? Because we always see you smiling. You and Dwight Howard were the two people that were always so positive that it almost made me question like how are they so positive and how are they always so smiling, right? So where do you get your confidence from? And
Man, my dad instilled that in me.
yep,
He always this is weird. Like and me being a father now, I understand now. Like I didn't understand it when I was a kid. So my dad would tell me stories about dreams he had and what he prayed for me and what he wanted for me. He was like, bro, you're gonna be Nate the Great, you're gonna do this. And like all the things that he said that he dreamed and he wanted for me happened.
wow.
And I didn't understand. I'm like, dang, like my dad has so much faith in me. I said, no wonder he was so hard on me growing up. Like I thought, like I would thought my dad hated me because how hard he was, but it was tough
Wow.
love and getting me ready. Because one, I was the oldest of 9 kids.
Did he train
I
you at
was,
a young age?
yeah, he trained me as a young age. He got me going, but then he got me to see how what I want for myself. Do you want to be good or you just want to be good because I'm pushing you to be good? So I was like, no, I want it. I
Right.
said, I'm doing it that I'm doing it to prove it to you that I can do it. I can, be coached hard. I can be pushed. And my
Right.
dad told me to every day after practice, after football practice, to run home 5 miles. I would do it because I was scared of him for one, out of respect. I
Right.
respect him, but I was scared because back in the day when you were a kid, like my dad would whoop my ass. It wasn't no you wouldn't get in trouble like now you get in trouble for, whooping your kid's ass and discipline them.
Take your
My
iPhone
dad, he
away
didn't care.
back
My dad
then.
would beat my ass if I wasn't doing what I'm supposed to in school, on and off the court, if I wasn't respectful to people, respectful to women, and making sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Like he was like, you're a reflection of me. If you're disrespecting people and doing stuff, you're showing that you have no discipline at home. And so I just made sure I was always respectful, always doing what I'm supposed to do. And I stayed off the street, did what so I take my hat out to my pops
Wow.
for getting me right and ready for this opportunity and the things that I was getting ready for. He was preparing me for that. So he gave me the confidence. He was calling me Nate the Great for the longest.
So he
You know,
called you that
I
before you
believe
became Nate the Great.
I
He
believe, yeah, and I believed it. And I just kept believing. I was like, man, and my dad believes he's the only reason why I wanted to make it to the league because I wanted to prove it to him that I could do it, even though he already knew I could. But I just wanted to prove it to my pops. It wasn't anybody else I cared about. I didn't care about nobody. Oh, you're weak. You're this. You can't do this. You can't do that.
Mhm.
My dad didn't say I couldn't do it. Then I didn't believe it. I was like, whatever. My dad was like, we're gonna get you right, get you because you can do anything. And he was, he would push me. So I got
Right.
the confidence from that. And then watching my mom grind 3, 4 jobs, single mom, and I respected that too. So I got her confidence from her, watching her take care of kids, have a job, never miss a game, like just everything to me. So I had the right people. I had the right people in my corner that made me believe I can do whatever it is I wanted to do. And then on top of that, I had confidence within myself because I knew that there wasn't nobody out there working hard as me. Me and
Right.
my brother, his name is Anthony, but his nickname is Chicken. My brother Chicken. We used to wake up in the morning and flip cards and do push-ups, sit-ups, squats,
Like
squat
do the
jumps,
number of push-ups on the
flip
card.
over a jack.
Oh,
Jack
I might
is
start doing that.
telling you, flip over Jack is this, King this, Ace this. Aces are double.
Right.
We did, 2, 3, whatever. And we just did that every morning. We woke up and then, we didn't have trainers. We didn't have weight vests. So what we do, we put rocks in our backpack, running up hills. And then we ride bikes all day with our friends and ride miles and be gone all day. Go to the court, go hoop. We have late night program hooping from,
Yeah.
from 9 to 12 o'clock at night. So we always was
You,
working. We always was grinding. Like it never stopped.
were you somebody who was also partying a lot? Like were you having
No,
fun
I wasn't. I
out?
wasn't a partier. Like I've been to parties. Like don't get me wrong, I went, but I'll go to one. I'm not going every weekend. Like I'm not. Nah. I want to be in the gym. I want to work. I want to grind. I want to spend time with my family. Like I didn't lose track of who I was, as in, staying off the streets. And I stayed off. I stayed out of it. I just wanted to have fun with my friends. My friends always came over to my house. My house was like the house to be at. You know what I'm saying? We had everything we needed. We had video games. We had music. We had pinball machines, arcades at my house. Like we had the stuff that my stepdad loved as a kid. He had that stuff, so we can make sure that we was at home. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? We wanted to go hoop. We caught the bus. We didn't have cars. Like we old school. We caught the bus and we rode our bikes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We're walking in the neighborhood, miles and miles. Like we had a great child life. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like we didn't have phones. We had to go home to call. If we had a girlfriend or well, we had to go home and call our girlfriends and
That
hey,
was the real life.
hey, Miss Davis, can I speak to blah blah blah? Is she
Right.
available? Like we had to learn how to talk to parents and ask if we can talk to their daughter. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like old school, not like now everybody got phones, so it's easier. Like we had to learn morals and learn how to be a certain way and act a certain way.
Right.
So I had great teachers growing up, man. And my
Back when
dad
you
was
actually knew who your neighbor's name was.
neighbors were. You knew the neighbor's name and you knew
Yeah.
that, all that. So it
So,
was it was a different era.
yeah.
The confidence that we had is because we had people that installed it in us,
Mhm.
and then we had ourselves to hold ourselves accountable.
Mhm.
Like I had some friends that didn't want to work out like me, and that was just motivation for me. Like I can't be like that. Like even I love my friend, but all right, cool, bro. I'll hit you later. I'm gonna go work out with my pops, and go, and we'll link up later. And then my brother, he had no choice, but he wanted it, like just as bad as me. So we're competing against each other. We're seeing who can run the hill the fastest, who can backpedal, blah blah blah. Like we just did things differently than most kids, and that's what
Okay.
drove us.
Well, I appreciate you elaborating because people wanted his NBA players are often looked at as like this guy's invincible. This guy, he had it all figured out, right? This and that. But it really, thanks for that insight because you got it out the mud.
Yeah, you got to get it out the mud, man. It just makes it that much better and sweeter when you make it. Everybody's story is different. Just because, one, I'm in the hood or I grew up in the hood don't mean guy from a suburban area can't make it. No,
Right.
it's just how much work you want to put in. Because
How
I'm
much work?
sure guys like Steph Curry, he didn't grow up in the hood and look at who he is now.
Hey, what's up, low man?
Hey, what's up?
Uh,
My
Going.
brother drive the car. Go. Me, you can't drive, you ain't got no license.
You got to give him some time.
He said, me? No, not you. Ask daddy. Go.
Who's that?
My son, my youngest son.
Okay, how old is he?
Nasir, he's 9.
Nasir Robinson.
Yeah,
Wow,
Nasir Robinson.
nice ring to it.
Yeah, don't it? all
Okay,
my kids got N names. She said, yeah. Okay.
so Nasir, can you go through all of them real quick? Nasir,
So my oldest one is Namir
Namir.
Robinson. Yeah, he's 20. He'll be 21 in October. My son Nael, he just turned 19.
Okay.
My daughter Navy, she's about to be 16 coming up in September. And then my youngest son Nasir, he'll be 10 in November.
Okay. All right. Robinsons, you got a big family, man.
Yeah, bro. I wish I'd had more. I wanted like 3, 4 more. I've been cool, but it's all.
Ah, the thing is uh they say God humbles you with daughters. Is that true?
Man, I love my daughter, man. Listen, I ain't gonna hold people. Don't be mad about having daughters, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, it's
Like
good.
all the time, it's fun. Like, oh yeah, you know how every parent has a favorite. Yeah, that's a real thing, bro. Probably my daughter's my favorite. My kids probably see this me talking about it, which I
Yeah.
don't care, boys, whatever. But my daughter's my favorite kid out of all my kids.
You're saying that with no hesitation.
No hesitation, bro. It's like women's love is different than the boys. Like it's tough love, like when it comes to fellas, man. Like
Right.
with the boys, they love me, they know, but they don't say it like how your daughter just connected to you. She's connected to
I
me.
love that. I love
So
that.
yeah.
Okay, well, like I said, this is coming down to a conclusion now. First of all, I want to thank you for even taking the time,
Thank you. You're very welcome.
giving me the opportunity to get my first episode down. But so I actually have two questions. The first question is, it's going to be a little bit tough for you because this is something that you experienced and you went through, so it's not easy. But 2010 finals, game seven. Artest hits the shot. It's obviously a slugfest of a game, right? You guys are
Yeah,
going
he hit that lucky ass shot,
the
man.
luck.
That ain't gonna hold you. That shot
Right.
haunts me every time I think about it.
Right.
Not even just that play, and then that layup. Um, Derek Fisher, the layup that Derek Fisher made over KG and what's the name? I don't. They almost
AG
like
Ray
collided.
out
I don't
and
know how, but they almost collided. But he made some lucky
mhm.
layup,
And it
and
was over the big three. It was over all
yes,
the big
bro, I couldn't believe he made that. That's when I knew it was gonna be a tough one because we was up 14 at the half. We
right.
thought we were winning that. We thought we was walking away with that. So
Right. We're so Fisher obviously, and even starting off that quarter, I think Fisher hits a three. Or no, Gasol gets an and one. But long story short, it's a tough, grinded out game. It's a game that
yeah,
it's a game.
that was a great game though.
Yeah, we haven't seen a game like that since, and it's a game that people still talk about till this day as one of the best finals games of all time. So, I want to talk to you about a very dark time during that game, which is post game, which is after. How was the obviously you don't have to talk about this first and foremost because this is private. But what was the vibes like in the locker room after that game? Obviously, everybody's distraught, but did Doc say anything that really, hit home, or did KG get up and say anything, or was just everybody just like quiet?
Everybody's quiet, but before Doc came in, he didn't come in right away. We were talking amongst each other. I was just listening because I didn't get to play,
Right.
but I was just listening, and I was just mad that all the confetti wasn't for us. It was,
Yeah.
Kobe, did his famous hold the ball with his, trophy and all that, which was,
Mhm.
which was, hard to watch, but you're still happy for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, Kobe, like at least we lost to one of the greatest. It wasn't like, somebody that wasn't,
Right.
that stature, but it was, I just remember KG, Paul, and them guys taking the blame for like, you know,
Us.
yeah, it was on us because
Ah.
before the game started, Doc Doc was like Doc was like, I'm gonna play the guys that got us here. Like he made the bench and everybody else feel like we weren't a part of that.
Right.
But once we heard that, I knew it was something was off.
Yeah.
Instead of just coaching and playing the way that he should have already had in
Mhm.
his mind of how he wanted the game to go, instead of, oh, I'm going to play these guys and I'm not going to play the guys that like the bench. Because I feel like me and Big Baby had a lot to help and a lot to do. Like we could have
Mhm.
helped them out way more. I know for four, we lost by 4 points. In my head, I'm like, I can score 4 points in my sleep.
Easy. Easy.
You know what I'm saying? So it just was awkward. But to go back to that conversation was it was tough. It was just tough to watch. But I was just watching, observing the guys, the three-headed monster, the big three that, like Ray Allen was like, God, that's my fault. I didn't make a three, I wasn't myself. And, the game, like the first game he set an NBA record by making 13 threes and then went cold the rest of
Yeah.
the rest of the
No, he
series.
went, he went he went 8 for 8 that game, and then the next game he went 0 for 11.
Yeah, so it was something crazy. Like just
Right.
at that time, like the game should have been. We shouldn't even win 7 games
Hmm.
if Ray makes his shots and whatever case may be. But it just happens. Like one of the best shooters in the world go 0 for 11. Like what are the odds? What are the chances that happens during that time? Like
It's so
you couldn't
crazy.
even you couldn't even make that up in a movie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
You
just
can't.
that time, it was tough. And then Doc coming in, taking the blame. He took the blame for it. He said, I should have just left it the way it should have been, which I should have just played the guys that should have been. But I was just sad that, I couldn't do nothing to help. I felt like I
Yeah,
needed to put the
that's the
game
hardest part.
help in a way. Like the scoring, we're gonna scoring droughts. Like, hello, I'm one of the best scoring off the bench in the league. Put me in the game, but I can't speak on that because I'm just coming from the Knicks. This is not my team. So I just, you know, hush my mouth and just, do what I was supposed
I
to do.
love Doc, don't get me wrong, but he should have definitely, because if you think about what Phil Jackson did, he put the entire pressure of the season on somebody named Sasha Vujacic, and he gave him that confidence to hit those free throws. They could have given you a little bit of leeway and say, okay, well, we're gonna plug you in halfway in the fourth. I think they plugged you in like in the last few seconds, right?
Seconds. Yeah, bro. Got
Yeah.
me like seconds. I'm running around the court, and I was sick because I was like, damn,
All right.
like they couldn't guard me. That was the thing. Like when they put me in the game, they couldn't guard me whenever I played the minutes that I did play. So it was weird to go from play help and then don't play at all. It was weird.
Right.
So
And I always think about that because I did see you in there in the end of the game, and I was like, why is he in now when the game's over?
yeah, so I'm just mad that like at a situation like that, Doc should have been like, Nate, go in, do your thing. We need some scoring. There's no rules, just go do your thing. You know
Yeah.
how easy it was to be able to play freely and knowing that I wasn't gonna come out for whatever reason and just play. I could have
Mhm.
scored 12 points in a quarter, like that.
On the
So
biggest stage. But hey, man, everything happens for a reason. I
it
appreciate
does, man. It does.
providing color on that end because Celtics fans, Lakers fans, and just fans of the NBA just want to know in general about what was going on in that locker room after. I don't
Yeah,
think
bro. It was just
we ever talked about
it
it.
was a
So,
great like Rondo spoke. Everybody spoke and was like taking the blame, bro. Like we could have played harder. Yeah, we was missing, Perk. He got hurt at that time.
right, Perk got hurt.
Yeah, Perk got hurt at that time. Like, since then. So it was a lot, man. We just tried to bond together and we just that third quarter came back and, kind of set them apart because their game plan, they stuck with it and found the energy and made the plays that they needed to make, and we did it.
Okay.
That's all that boiled down to it. They made some lucky plays and some great plays, and it
Lucky
just
plays
went
for sure.
it went their way. So
Hmm.
I take my hat off to them. They played a hell of a game. They played a hell of a game. And for me on the sideline watching from, it was fun to be a part of it and have good seats, watching the game. But part of me wanted to get in and just help as much as I could, bro. I think I could have changed the game with my energy for sure.
And I definitely think you could have, because actually watching that series, I remember you on the sidelines. It was hard to miss you on the sidelines because you had what, a 40-inch
Yeah,
vertical jumping up and down, cheering for
yeah,
everybody, right?
everybody, yeah, just
And
laughing,
you had
having a
your
good time.
Celtics warm up on, and I was like,
Yeah,
it's Nate, that's Nate, but he wants to
yeah.
get in.
So it was hard to watch, but it was a good experience for me to be able to experience the finals and just the magnitude of what the game meant, and then the fans and just being sold out, and it was a lot, but it was so much fun and so worth it. I just got a great chance to experience that. My family came down. It was amazing.
I love it. Oh, I appreciate you, Celtics fans and Lakers fans. Would love to hear that. And I keep telling you that that was going to be my last question before my last question, but I got one more, if
Hey, what's
that's
up?
okay. Just,
Of course.
I know time is money. But I just want to get your thoughts on, the new generation coming in. The Carter Bryants, the VJ Edgecombs, the Cooper Flags, and the Ace Baileys. What are your thoughts about this draft class? Who are you watching? Who are you excited for? We have uh Walter Clayton Jr. He came in with Ace Bailey. They're both on the Jazz. Who are you watching? Is there anybody that you're excited for? I know they got that one guy on New Orleans, the big guy. I
Fierce.
forgot his name.
Oh no, you talking about Fierce?
Oh, Fierce is good. I'm talking about the big guy. I forgot his name. He's injured now, but there's a lot of good players. What are some players that you're looking at?
I mean, Fierce is one. What's the kid from Florida that just won a national championship? I think it's Utah.
Walter Clayton.
Yeah, I want to see what he's gonna do. They talking about he might be the next, Steph Curry. They're saying like
Mhm.
scoring shooting wise.
Keep the lights out.
So that's gonna be good to see what he brings to the table. But I'm just excited just to see where the wave is going, not just individuals. Like, yeah, this batch is one of the best, group of kids that came from AAU and like Ace Bailey, the Cooper Flags, and the you just want to see you want to see them do well, but you want to see how they handle struggle, how they handle adversity of being amongst the greats now. They're the young guys coming in. But my advice to them was just do what got you here. Don't change your game. Don't try to be somebody that you're not. And that's what kids tend to do when they're here to please, of course, the owners, the fans, but be true to you first before you can be pleasing everybody else.
Okay, figure out your own
And
DNA.
that's one thing I told myself I wouldn't do. I wouldn't change. And when coach tried to change me, it just made my game weaker. It was like, let me be me, but I'll be me within your system.
Exactly.
Don't try to change me to be this. That's not who I was. Like me, I knew I wasn't a pure point guard.
Mhm.
I can run the point and do and start the offense. I've been doing it my whole life. But me, I'm a scoring guard. I can score. I can do other things besides. I can rebound. I can play defense. I can get assists. I can hustle. I can do everything, bro. I'm a utility. I'm a joker.
Chase
Like you
down
can,
blocks.
what I'm
Yes.
saying? All that. I can do it all. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm only limited to this. No, I can do everything the big guy can do. I can do everything plus that. And
Okay.
my motor is better than it. You know what I'm saying? I got a motor. I got energy. I'm a crowd favorite. I'm a play into the crowd. I'm a good people in the seats. I can change the game. I can change the energy. Like that was who I was. So that was my gift that I brought to the game. And I just want, the young guys to come in and know what you bring to the table, what you bring to your team, and just
Right.
own that shit. You
Okay.
know?
I love that. And talking about these moves and stuff like that, do you think that Kevin Durant, this last hurrah that he has in Houston, do you think Kevin Durant's legacy is already solidified, or do you think he needs to prove a little bit more?
I don't think he needs to prove anything. I mean, he's one of the best scorers and one of the best players uh, that we've ever seen. But I just wish that those guys stayed where they were at. I wish they were
Yeah.
like Ron, stay in Cleveland. You stay in OKC. You stay in the places that, like old school, like certain guys, like John Stockton played his whole career. Kobe
Mhm.
played his whole career in Lakers. Like, you know, that's what you would want. Like I wish Shaq would have stayed in LA and never or Orlando and never left to wherever. Or you
Right.
never know. So I mean, yeah, you get some people wanting to be traded and some people, it happens. But the main guys that are supposed to be on the team that they're at, like Steph Curry, I wouldn't want to see Steph Curry play for anybody but the Warriors.
Oh, no,
It's
no.
mentally like it's a mental thing. Like that, I just don't want to see that.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
saying so.
Well, I appreciate you elaborating on that. There's a lot of different moves. But going on to this last question I got for you is, and this is going to be tough because you never know what you're going to say, but if right now on the right of you, that sliding door opens and an 18-year-old Nate Robinson walks in, what type of advice would you give an 18-year-old Nate Robinson just starting fresh, just starting out in the league?
Oh man, honestly, I would just tell them, patience. Just work on your craft and have lots of patience because, you know, this NBA world and the way things are going, it's a roller coaster. It's never gonna be just smooth sailing every time. It's never that. You're never gonna be on a smooth sea. There's always gonna be waves, there's always gonna be ups and downs. Uh, but just embrace those ups and downs, man. It's like I said, it's like yin and yang. What's good is bad. What's bad is good. Like it comes and it goes.
Hmm.
Uh, and then on top of that, when you do you have your success, just don't don't have too much highs and don't have too many lows. Just try to stay level. And then
Right.
I would tell them, just keep the main thing the main thing. Whatever the main thing is, just keep it the main thing, man, and enjoy your time while you're there because it goes fast.
I love
You know,
that. That's
build,
that's the best
build your
advice.
friendships,
Yep.
build your friendships. Like when you meet, certain players and you're friends with guys on and off the court or different teams, build those relationships, man, because you have those, you miss those the most when you leave the game. It's not even just being in the NBA, it's about camaraderie with your buddies,
Wow.
the memories that you share. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
Okay.
big time. Yep. And then learn how to say no too.
Learn how to say no. Wow.
Learn how to say no. Yeah, you can't please and bless everybody with, everything that you got. That's one thing I would definitely tell my younger self is it's okay to say no too.
Yeah.
Everybody has problems, everybody, you can't help everybody.
Can't help
So
everybody. And
definitely
that
gotta
did
learn
that
how to
take
say
you a
no.
lot to did that take you a while to realize? Because
It just took me a lot to learn because I'm coming from a family that had nothing. So
sure.
I mean I get it. It happens, but you learn from trial and error over the years. And once you have your own kids, you start to realize when you start building your own family, that's when you have to learn how to say no. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? So yeah, you
I
definitely
think
got to
that
keep
last one was the
along
biggest
that.
one because that's one that everybody struggles with actually is, when to say no to that extra assignment, when to say no to that that loan, when to say no to that so I appreciate you providing color on that end
Yeah,
and
you have to. You have to know when to say no, and then keep an eye on your finances like you would do anything else, not put it in somebody else's hands. I
Right.
wish I would did a better job at that at my younger stage instead of now. But being younger, just knowing like watching, it's like watching your stuff like you would watch, watch out for your brother and your sister growing up.
Right.
Like watch out for yourself. Hold on real quick.
Yeah. Do your thing.
But I would definitely, just keep an eye on everything. Watch where your money's going. Watch what you have to pay, and less is more. Where you don't have so many things that you have to worry about. You
Okay.
know,
So did
that's
they? That was the last question, but this is kind of off the record. Did they have resources for you to get involved with to learn about stocks, to learn about all that when you were first in the league, or
not
what?
in the beginning, no, not until later, not until later on. But that's something that you have to be around the right people. Like it was like a right people type of thing back in the day. Now it's out for you can go on your phone and go to Bitcoin or whatever else you want to
Right.
put, and you can do your own. They didn't have phones like that like back in the day. We didn't have that. You had to go to a company. You had to go to some place like Fidelity or wherever that where you hold your money and learn that stuff. And who wants to do that? With the time that we don't have time, we don't. It's hard.
Right.
We got to just go here, the appearance here. Like who has time for that? That's why we have the accountants to do that. But
Right.
then the accountants, like you can't trust too many people because people are evil. You can imagine people are handling millions and millions of dollars of you, $100 million. You will never see little by little being taken and taken and taken over years and years and years. Like
Mhm.
some of the best people in the NBA have been robbed from the people that did Tim Duncan, I think Kevin Garnett, so many different
Duncan.
people.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That you would never even know. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? So it's just you just gotta watch your like I would just say watch your own. Now that you got your own phone, you can get your contract spread out over 20 years, 30 years if you want. It's whatever
Right.
how you want to do it. But
Right.
I would wish somebody was telling me this early on in my career. That's what I wish. So if I could tell
Well,
my self that I would handle it in my own way.
well, hey Nate, I want to say a big thank you for coming on, man. That
Oh,
was
you're very
episode
welcome.
one of Archive Hoops. Thank you
Pretty
guys
cool.
for
It could
tuning
be the
in.
first episode. So good luck to you.
I appreciate you, man. And like I said, this is, or like Nate said, this is episode one. I'm looking in the future to have a lot more guests on, not just athletes, but just of all walks of life. Nate himself is launching his own podcast soon, so be in tune for
Yes.
as well as other things going on in his life as well. You can catch him on Nate Robinson at Instagram. But hey, I appreciate you for tuning in and thanks for providing all that knowledge.
Anytime, my brother. Anytime.
I appreciate you, Nate, and
Yes,
I'm gonna
sir.
holla at you. Thank you.